Did you know that some old R&B stars are alive and still active in the industry? From 95-year-old songwriter Berry Gordy, who is best known as the founder of the Motown record label and its subsidiaries, to 84-year-old singer Dionne Warwick, who was one of the most successful vocalists of the rock era from 1955 to 1999. Here are 20 R&B oldest stars who are over 80 to 100 years old. Diana Ross, 80 years. Diana Ross, born on July 4, 1944, is an American singer and actress. She started her career after joining the Primettes, the sister group to a male vocal group called the Primes. From there, she became the lead singer of the Supremes, Motown's most successful group of the 1960s. They became the best-selling female group of all time, with 12 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. In 1970, Ross left the Supremes to start a solo career. Her debut solo album included Ain't No Mountain High Enough, which became her first #1 song as a solo artist. She released 26 studio albums, including Touch Me in the Morning, Diana, and Why Do Fools Fall in Love. She also found success in acting. In 1972, she played Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues. The role earned her a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award nomination, making her the first African-American actress to receive an Oscar nomination for a debut film performance. Ross continued performing well into her later years. In 2022, she was nominated for a Grammy for her album, Thank You. In 2023, she toured the U.S. with the Music Legacy Tour, celebrating her biggest hits. She also performed at London's Royal Albert Hall in 2023 and 2024. Patti LaBelle, 80 years. Patti LaBelle, born on May 24, 1944, is an American R&B singer and actress, also known as the godmother of soul. Patti's music career started when she won a talent competition at John Bartram High School at the age of 16. This led her to form her first singing group, the Ordettes, in 1960. The group later became LaBelle, and in the 1970s, they released the #1 hit, Lady Marmalade, before disbanding in 1976. LaBelle started her solo career in 1977 with a debut album that included You Are My Friend, one of her most beloved songs. She became a mainstream star in 1984 with hits like If Only You Knew, Love, Need and Want You, New Attitude, and Stir It Up. She won her first Grammy in 1992 for Burnin', which featured Somebody Loves You Baby, You Know Who It Is. She won a second Grammy for her live album, Live One Night Only. Alongside her music career, LaBelle is also a successful actress. She appeared in A Soldier's Story and TV shows like A Different World and American Horror Story Freak Show. She also became a successful entrepreneur, launching her own brand of bedding, cookbooks, and food products. In 2015, her Patti's Sweet Potato Pie became a sensation when a viral YouTube review caused Walmart to sell one pie every second for 72 hours. In 2024, while celebrating her 80th birthday, LaBelle announced a new album, 80 or 65, marking her 80 years of life and 65 years in music. Gladys Knight, 80 years. Gladys Knight, born on May 28, 1944, is an American singer known as the Empress of Soul. She started by singing gospel music at 4 years old in church. At 8, she won Ted Mack's The Original Amateur Hour TV contest with her performance of Nat King Cole's Too Young. Knight rose to fame with her family group, Gladys Knight and the Pips, which included her brother Merrill Knight and her cousins William Guest and Edward Patton. Together, they recorded hits throughout the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s. She has won 7 Grammy Awards, 4 as a solo artist, and 3 with the Pips. She has recorded 11 #1 R&B singles and 6 #1 R&B albums. Her songs I Heard It Through the Grapevine and Midnight Train to Georgia were inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame for their historical and artistic significance. Rolling Stone has even ranked her among the 100 greatest singers of all time. In addition to music, Knight has acted in films and TV shows. She made her film debut in 1976 as the lead in Pipe Dreams, earning a Golden Globe nomination. She also guest starred in Benson, The Jeffersons, A Different World, Living Single, The Jamie Foxx Show, and New York Undercover. Though she announced a farewell tour of the UK in 2009, she continued performing there in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2022, and 2024. Eddie Levert, 82 years. Eddie Levert, born on June 16, 1942, is an American singer best known as the lead vocalist of the O'Jays. He grew up attending church regularly and joined the choir, where his voice stood out. As a teenager, he sang in school plays and performed on a gospel radio show. In high school, Levert formed a group called The Triumphs with classmates Walter Williams, William Powell, Bobby Massey, and Bill Iles. In 1909, the group, now known as the O'Jays, signed with Philadelphia International Records. Later, they joined EMI Manhattan Records, where Levert and Williams began co-writing and producing their own music. Their 1987 album, Let Me Touch You, reached number 3 on the R&B charts, and the song Lovin' You became a number 1 hit. In 1992, Levert recorded Baby Hold On to Me with his son, Gerald, which also became a number 1 R&B hit. Levert has earned many honors throughout his career. In 2009, the O'Jays received the BET Lifetime Achievement Award, and he was honored with the Heroes and Legends Pace Setter Award. In 2011, they were awarded the Trumpet Lifetime Achievement Award. The O'Jays have released 10 gold albums, 9 of which went platinum, along with 10 number 1 hits. Since 2007, Levert has released 3 solo albums, Something to Talk About, I Still Have It, and Did I Make You Go, Ooh. Even in his 80s, Levert continues to perform and tour with the O'Jays while also working as a solo artist. Carla Thomas, 82 years. Carla Thomas, born on December 21, 1942, is an American singer often called the Queen of Memphis Soul. She grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, in a musical family. Her father, Rufus Thomas, was a well-known entertainer and worked as the master of ceremonies at the Palace Theater on Beale Street. Thomas rose to fame in the 1960s, recording for Atlantic Records and most notably Stax Records. Her first song, 'Cause I Love You, released by Satellite Records, which later became Stax, attracted the attention of Atlantic Records executive Jerry Wexler. This led to the release of her biggest solo hit, Gee Whiz, Look at His Eyes, which reached number 10 on the pop charts and number 5 on the R&B charts. She continued to have success on the R&B charts throughout the 1960s, with her song B.A.B.Y. reaching number 14 on the pop charts in 1966. One of her most famous collaborations was with Otis Redding. Their duet, Tramp, reached number 26 on the pop charts, and their album King and Queen became a hit, reaching number 18 in the UK. After releasing her final Stax album, Love Means, in 1971 and appearing in the 1972 Watt Stax concert, Thomas stepped away from the spotlight. Though she never regained the fame of her 1960s peak, Thomas remained active in music. She released a greatest hits compilation in 1994, a live album in 2002, and a rediscovered 1967 recording live at the Bohemian Caverns in 2007. In 2021, she returned to the studio to feature on Valerie June's song Call Me a Fool, which earned a Grammy nomination for Best American Roots Song. Martha Reeves, 83 years. Martha Reeves, born on July 18, 1941, is an American R&B and pop singer, best known as the lead vocalist of Martha and the Vandellas. Raised on gospel music, she was influenced by artists like Lena Horne and Della Reese, and developed a love for R&B and doo-wop. During the early 1960s, She worked multiple jobs by day while performing jazz and blues at Detroit nightclubs at night. While singing at the 20 Grand, she was discovered by Motown A&R director Mickey Stevenson, who invited her to audition. She arrived at Hitsville, USA the next morning, unaware she needed to schedule an appointment. Instead of an audition, she was hired as Stevenson's assistant, doing secretarial and A&R work. In 1961, when Mary Wells missed a recording session, Reeves stepped in with the Delphys to record "I'll Have to Let Him Go." This moment marked the birth of Martha and the Vandellas. They also provided backup vocals for Marvin Gaye, including on his hit, "Stubborn Kind of Fellow." As Martha and the Vandellas, they achieved major success with songs like "Dancing in the Street," "Heat Wave," "Nowhere to Run," and "Jimmy Mack." Beyond music, Reeves served as a Detroit City Councilwoman from 2005 to 2009. She continues to perform solo and with her Vandellas, including her sisters Lois and Delphine. In 2024, Reeves received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame with music legends like Berry Gordy Jr., Smokey Robinson, and Stevie Wonder. Ronald Isley, 83 years. Ronald Isley, born May 21, 1941, is an American singer, songwriter, and record producer, best known as the lead singer and founding member of the Isley Brothers. His musical journey began in the church, where he won a singing contest at just 2 years old. By age 7, he was performing at major venues like Chicago's Regal Theater alongside Dinah Washington. As a teenager, he toured with his brothers, appearing on Ted Mack's Amateur Hour before moving to New York in 1957 to pursue a professional career. In 1959, the Isley Brothers signed with RCA Records and released their debut single Shout, which became a rock and soul classic. Over time, the Isley Brothers evolved through doo-wop, funk, and R&B, with Ronald leading hits like Between the Sheets, For the Love of You, and Footsteps in the Dark. Beyond the Isley Brothers, Ronald also had a solo career. In 1990, he scored a top 10 hit with Rod Stewart on a re-recording of This Old Heart of Mine Is Weak for You. He also became a sought-after collaborator, featuring on songs with artists like R. Kelly, Tupac, UGK, and Warren G. Isley's music has appeared on the Billboard Hot 100 across 6 consecutive decades, from the 1950s to the 2000s. His most recent album, Make Me Say It Again Girl, credited to the Isley Brothers, was released on September 30th, 2022, further cementing his legacy as one of R&B's most enduring voices. Otis Williams, 83 years. Otis Williams, born on October 30th, 1941, is an American singer, songwriter, and record producer. He became interested in music as a teenager and adopted his mother's maiden name for his stage name. During his early years, he formed several singing groups, including Otis Williams and the Siberians, the El Domingos, and the Distance. In 1959, the Distance scored a local hit with Come On, a song co-written by Williams. After some lineup changes, Williams, along with Elbridge, Al Bryant, and Melvin Franklin, joined forces with Eddie Kendricks and Paul Williams of the Primes to form a new group, initially called the Elgins. After signing with Motown in March 1961, they were renamed The Temptations. Over the decades, The Temptations became one of the most successful groups in soul music history, with a lineup that included legends like David Ruffin, Dennis Edwards, Richard Street, Ron Tyson, and Allie Ollie Woodson. The Temptations' biggest hits include My Girl and I Know I'm Losing You, among many others. The group has won 4 Grammy Awards and received 9 nominations. Their latest release, Temptation 60, dropped on January 28, 2022, featuring a collaboration with Motown icon Smokey Robinson. As of 2024, Williams, the only original member still in the group, continues to perform and tour with the Temptations, keeping their legacy alive. Aaron Neville, 84 years. Aaron Neville, born on January 24, 1941, is an American R&B and soul singer known for his distinctive voice. His breakthrough came in 1967 with Tell It Like It Is, which topped the Billboard R&B chart for 5 weeks and reached number 2 on the Hot 100. The single sold over 1 million copies and earned a gold disc. In 1989, Neville collaborated with Linda Ronstadt on the album Cry Like a Rainstorm, Howl Like the Wind, which featured 4 duets, including the Grammy-winning #1 hits Don't Know Much and All My Life. The album went triple platinum, selling over 3 million copies in the U.S. In the early 1990s, he expanded into country music, appearing on the 1994 album Rhythm, Country and Blues. His duet with Trisha Yearwood on I Fall to Pieces won a Grammy for Best Country Collaboration with Vocals, making Neville one of the few African-American artists to win a Grammy in the country genre. As a solo artist, Neville has achieved 4 platinum albums and 4 top 10 hits, including 3 #1 songs on Billboard's Adult Contemporary chart. His music has been featured in television, films, and major events. In 2021, at age 80, Neville announced his retirement from touring. In 2023, Rolling Stone ranked him number 104 on its list of the 200 greatest singers of all time. Dionne Warwick, 84 years. Dionne Warwick, born December 12, 1940, is an American singer, actress, and television host. She is one of the most successful vocalists of the rock era from 1955 to 1999, ranking among the 40 biggest U.S. hitmakers during that period. In total, 80 of her songs made it onto the Hot 100, R&B, or Adult Contemporary charts, either as a solo artist or in collaboration. Warwick's career took off after her background vocals on the Drifters' 1962 song Mexican Divorce caught the attention of composer Burt Bacharach, who was working with lyricist Hal David. Bacharach and David signed her to their production company, leading to a series of hits in the 1960s and 1970s. Some of her biggest hits from this era include Walk On By, I Say a Little Prayer, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, and Message to Michael, which became a top 10 hit in 1966, despite originally being considered a man's song by its writers. Warwick's career continued to thrive for decades, earning her 6 Grammy Awards and numerous other accolades. She has been inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the Grammy Hall of Fame, the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the Apollo Theater Walk of Fame. In 2019, she received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. 3 of her songs, Walk On By, Alfie, and Don't Make Me Over, have also been enshrined in the Grammy Hall of Fame. Most recently, on April 26, 2024, Warwick, alongside the Chi Lights, was inducted into the Atlantic City Walk of Fame, an honor presented by the National R&B Music Society, Inc. If you are enjoying this video, appreciate it by giving it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Fred Cash, 84 years. Fred Cash, born October 8, 1940, is an American soul singer best known for his long tenure with the Impressions. He joined the group in 1960, replacing Jerry Butler, and became one of its longest-serving members. Before joining the Impressions, Cash was an original member of the Roosters, the group that later evolved into the Impressions. After briefly leaving, he returned and became an integral part of the group alongside Curtis Mayfield and Sam Gooden. With the Impressions, Cash was part of several groundbreaking hits, including People Get Ready, Keep On Pushing, and We're a Winner. His smooth harmonies helped define the group's sound, which blended gospel-influenced vocals with R&B and soul. In recognition of his contributions to music, Cash was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991 as a member of the Impressions. In 2016, he and the group were also inducted into the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame. Fred continues to tour with the Impressions. Smokey Robinson, 85 years. Smokey Robinson Jr., born February 19, 1940, is an American R&B and soul singer, songwriter, record producer, and former record executive. His love for music began in childhood after hearing groups like Nolan Strong and the Diablos and Billy Ward and his Dominoes on the radio. In 1955, Robinson formed a vocal group called The Five Chimes, later renamed The Miracles. In August 1957, Robinson and the Miracles met Berry Gordy after an unsuccessful audition for Brunswick Records. Gordy was impressed not only by Robinson's vocals, but also by the notebook of 100 songs he had written while in high school. This encounter led to the release of the Miracles' first single, Got a Job. Between 1960 and 1970, the Miracles released 26 top 40 hits under Robinson's leadership, including classics like You've Really Got a Hold on Me, Mickey's Monkey, I Second That Emotion, Baby Baby Don't Cry, and The Tears of a Clown. Robinson was also a major songwriter and producer for Motown Records, writing hits for artists like Mary Wells, The Temptations, and Marvin Gaye. In 1972, he retired from the Miracles to focus on his role as Motown's vice president, but returned to music as a solo artist the following year. He has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one as a solo artist and another with the Miracles. Robinson is the current owner and host of the Sirius XM channel Soul Town, a station that plays R&B and soul hits from the 1950s to the early 1980s. He occasionally appears on the channel, recalling his best moments with Motown and meeting other artists, as well as picking his favorite songs during that time period. In April 2023, he announced his first album in nearly a decade, Gasms. Candy Staton, 85 years. Candy Staton, born March 13, 1940, is an American singer and songwriter. In the United States, she is best known for her 1970 cover of Stand By Your Man and her 1976 disco hit, Young Hearts Run Free. In Europe, her most successful record is the 1986 anthem, You Got the Love, a collaboration with The Source, which remains a club classic. Staton's musical journey began in her youth while attending Jewel Christian Academy, where her vocal talent was quickly recognized. She formed the Jewel Gospel Trio with her sister and Naomi Harrison, and the group toured with major gospel artists such as the Soul Stirrers and Mahalia Jackson. Her solo career launched in 1968 when she was introduced to Rick Hall of Fame Studios by Clarence Carter. She became a Southern soul icon, earning the title First Lady of Southern Soul with Grammy-nominated renditions of Stand By Your Man and In the Ghetto. Over her tenure at Fame Studios, she recorded 16 R&B hits. In 1976, Staton transitioned to disco, collaborating with David Crawford to produce Young Hearts Run Free, which topped the U.S. R&B charts, reached number 2 on the UK singles chart, and became a top 20 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. After a successful run in secular music, Staton returned to her gospel roots in 1982, founding Baraka Ministries in Atlanta, Georgia, alongside her then-husband, John Sussowell. She has since recorded 12 gospel albums, 2 of which earned Grammy nominations. Her most recent release is her 30th album, Unstoppable, in 2018. Jerry Butler Jr., 85 years. Jerry Butler Jr., born December 8, 1939, is an American soul singer-songwriter, producer, musician, and politician. He was the original lead singer of The Impressions and played a crucial role in shaping the group's early sound before embarking on a highly successful solo career. Butler's musical journey began in gospel, singing in the Northern Jubilee Gospel Singers alongside Curtis Mayfield. The two later joined the Roosters, a group that evolved into The Impressions. Butler co-wrote and recorded the group's breakthrough hit, For Your Precious Love, in 1958. The song, now ranked number 27 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time, became a gold record and established the Impressions as rising stars. However, in 1960, Butler left the group to pursue a solo career. His departure marked the beginning of Curtis Mayfield's leadership of the Impressions. As a solo artist, Butler became one of the most successful R&B singers of his era, achieving over 55 Billboard pop and R&B chart hits. Some of his most notable songs include He Will Break Your Heart, Let It Be Me, and Only the Strong Survive. In recognition of his contributions to music, Butler was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991 as a member of the Impressions and into the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame in 2015. Beyond music, Butler made a lasting impact as a public servant. In 1985, he was elected to the Cook County Board of Commissioners in Illinois, where he served for over 3 decades. As a commissioner, he focused on health care and infrastructure, chairing the Health and Hospitals Committee and serving as vice chair of the Construction Committee. He retired from public office in 2018. Mavis Staples, 85 years. Mavis Staples, born July 10, 1939, is an American rhythm and blues and gospel singer, as well as a civil rights activist. She first gained fame as a member of her family's band, the Staple Singers, where she helped define their sound and success. With the group, she recorded hit singles such as I'll Take You There and Let's Do It Again. She remains the last surviving member of the Staple Singers. In 1969, Staples launched her solo career with her self-titled debut album. Throughout the years, she continued releasing solo albums and collaborated with numerous artists, including Aretha Franklin, Prince, Arcade Fire, Nona Hendrix, Ry Cooder, David Byrne, and Bob Dylan. Her 2010 album, You Are Not Alone, received critical acclaim and became her first solo project to top a Billboard chart, reaching number 1 on the Top Gospel Albums chart. It also earned her first Grammy Award. Beyond music, Staples has made numerous television and film appearances, including The Last Waltz, Graffiti Bridge, Wattstacks, New York Undercover, Songs of Praise, Soul Train, Soul to Soul, The Psychiatrist, and The Cosby Show. Her music has also been included in the soundtracks of films and shows such as The Help, My Blueberry Nights, Dumplin', Charlie Wilson's War, and CSI Miami. Overall, she has won 3 Grammy Awards, including one for Album of the Year as a featured artist on We Are by John Batiste. In 2008, Rolling Stone named her one of the 100 greatest singers of all time. In 2019, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame awarded her their inaugural Rock Hall Honors Award for her solo work. That same year, she appeared as the featured musical guest on CBS This Morning's Saturday Sessions segment, performing songs from We Get By. Clarence Carter, 89 years. Clarence Carter, born January 14, 1936, is an American singer, songwriter, musician, and record producer. His career began as part of a duo with Calvin Scott, signing to the Fairlane label and releasing I Wanna Dance. But I Don't Know How under the name Clarence and Calvin. The duo performed regularly in clubs around Birmingham, Alabama, but after Scott suffered serious injuries in an auto accident, Carter pursued a solo career and began recording for the Fame label. In 1967, he recorded Tell Daddy, which reached number 35 on the Billboard R&B chart. The song inspired Etta James's answer record, Tell Mama, for which Carter was credited as the songwriter. Later that year, he signed with Atlantic Records, which led to a string of R&B and pop chart hits. His breakthrough came with Slip Away, which reached number 2 on the R&B charts and number 6 on the pop charts. He followed it with Too Weak to Fight, which peaked at number 3 on the R&B charts and number 13 on the pop charts. Between 1969 and 1970, Carter continued his success with hits such as Snatching It Back, The Feeling Is Right, Doing Our Thing, and I Can't Leave Your Love Alone, all of which charted in both R&B and pop categories. His biggest hit came in 1970 with Patches, originally recorded by Chairman of the Board. Carter's version reached number 2 in the UK and number 4 in the US. It sold over 1 million copies and earned a gold disc from the RIAA in September 1970. The song won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Song in 1971, further cementing his legacy. With the rise of disco in the mid-1970s, Carter's mainstream popularity declined, but he maintained a strong following, particularly among African-American working-class audiences. He continued to release music, recording 6 albums under the Ichiban label and later launching his own label, CG Entertainment, in 1996. Herb Alpert, 89 years. Herb Alpert, born March 31, 1935, is an American trumpeter, pianist, songwriter, record producer, arranger, conductor, painter, sculptor, and theater producer. He gained fame leading the band Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass in the 1960s and co-founded A&M Records with Jerry Moss during the same decade. Alpert began his music career in 1957, teaming up with Rob Wirtz as a songwriter for Keane Records. Over the next 2 years, he co-wrote several hit songs, including Baby Talk by Jan and Dean and Wonderful World by Sam Cooke. His breakthrough as a performer came with the formation of the Tijuana Brass. He recorded 28 albums that charted on the U.S. Billboard 200, with 5 reaching number 1. His success earned him 14 platinum albums and 15 gold albums. And he remains the only musician to have topped the Billboard Hot 100, both as a vocalist and an instrumentalist. Alpert has sold an estimated 72 million records worldwide and received numerous awards, including a Tony Award, 8 Grammy Awards, and the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2006, his album Steppin' Out won a Grammy for Best Pop Instrumental Album. Since then, he has continued releasing music, including 50, which he claimed as his 50th studio album, and has announced plans for more, including a 3rd Christmas album. In late 2024, Alpert revealed plans to form a new Tijuana Brass group and embark on a 2025 tour to celebrate the landmark Whipped Cream and Other Delights album. Ruby Nash Garnett, 91 years. Ruby Nash Garnett, born June 15, 1934, is an American singer, best known as the lead vocalist of the rhythm and blues group Ruby and the Romantics. She did not start singing until her senior year of high school. In 1961, she joined a group of male singers who were touring under the name The Supremes. After signing a recording contract with Cap Records, they changed their name to Ruby and the Romantics. In 1963, the group scored a number 1 hit with Our Day Will Come and followed it with My Summer Love, which reached number 16, and Hey There Lonely Boy, which peaked at number 27. They had several more charting songs over the years, but were unable to replicate the success of their first hit. The group remained intact with all 5 original members: Nash, Leroy Fan, Ed Roberts, George Lee, and Ron Mosley, until they disbanded in 1971. After the group's dissolution, Nash returned to Akron, Ohio, and worked for American Telephone and Telegraph Company. Ruby and the Romantics were recognized with a Pioneer Award from the Rhythm and Blues Foundation in 1997 and were inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2007. As of 2025, Nash is the only surviving original member. Berry Gordy, 95 years. Berry Gordy Jr., born November 28, 1929, is an American retired record executive, producer, and songwriter, best known as the founder of the Motown record label and its subsidiaries. As a songwriter, Gordy composed or co-wrote numerous hits, including Lonely Teardrops and That's Why, for Jackie Wilson, Shop Around for the Miracles, and Do You Love Me for the Contours, all of which topped the U.S. R&B charts. He was also part of the Corporation, the songwriting team behind many Jackson 5 hits like I Want You Back and ABC. As a producer, he launched The Miracles and signed legendary acts such as The Supremes, Marvin Gaye, The Temptations, The Four Tops, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Stevie Wonder. He was known for meticulously crafting the public image, dress, manners, and choreography of his artists. Gordy was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988, awarded the National Medal of Arts by President Barack Obama in 2016, and honored by the Kennedy Center in 2021. In 2022, he was inducted into the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame. Dennis Binder, born November 18, 1928, is an American rhythm and blues musician and singer-songwriter, best known for his song Long Man Blues. He grew up singing in church with his mother and aunts. Around 1939, his family relocated to Chicago, where he taught himself how to play piano, determined to become a recording artist. Binder claimed that he first recorded for Chess Records around 1951. By 1952, he was recording with Ike Turner's Kings of Rhythm in Clarksdale, Mississippi. In November 1958, he recorded at Norman Petty Studios in Clovis, New Mexico, resulting in the 1959 single Crawdad song, She's Somethin' Else. Later, he recorded at Benson Studio in Oklahoma City. In the 1960s, he transitioned to performing soul music, then ventured into country and western in the 1970s, and later gospel music. While pursuing music, Binder also worked as a bail bondsman and released music on his own label. In 2004, a friend introduced him to Earwig Music Company president Michael Frank, leading to a record deal with the Chicago-based Earwig label. In January 2007, he released his debut album, Hole in That Jug, featuring a mix of blues, rock and roll, and country. The following year, he performed at Ponderosa Stomp. Throughout his career, Binder has recorded for major R&B labels, including Chess Records, Sun Records, and Modern Records, leaving a lasting mark on blues and R&B history. And which of these stars would you bring back to their youthful days if you could? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our next video for more Hollywood stories.